Hi guys, welcome to the very first video for Music 182. My name's Miss Terrell. If you watched my introduction video, I talked about the textbooks and the syllabus and everything that you needed to know, so hopefully you've watched that first, because we are about to just dive right into our first unit for this year. So, we're going to start on Unit 14, and that starts... Page 184 is where we're going to start talking. And for this first video, we're going to talk about how to play minor scales, more specifically harmonic minor scales. So now on 184, you're going to see the list of 3 different types of scales. So we got natural minor, harmonic, and then melodic minor. You should hopefully have learned all of these sorts of scales in your theory classes, but just kind of for a brief refresher before we dive right in. Natural minor is the scale with the key signature as is. So for an A minor, then absolutely nothing. We have all white notes. With harmonic minor, we're going to raise the 7th tone by a half step. So in this case, we're going to raise G to G sharp for A minor. And then we have melodic minor, and that's going to be minor up until the 6th and the 7th, and then we're going to raise those tones, but then on the way back down, it's back to natural minor. The only scale that you're going to have to worry about is harmonic minor. So, with that being said, if you take a look on the next page, they have a written exercise page that shows you different keyboards, and then asks you to write in all of these scales. So, I'm going to have to move my laptop around a little bit. With how this office is, it's a little bit awkward, but I think that this will work well. So, we're going to take just a couple of scales. They've already, if you can see, let me pull this book over here. You can see on this first one, they've already got this written for you. And right now, we're not going to worry at all about fingering. I think right in the very next unit, we're actually going to be talking about different groups and different fingerings, and that'll break it down. So instead of having to learn everything right in the first week, you guys are going to have just a week to kind of work on what the notes are, then we'll add the fingerings in later. So if you go down, we're going to look at I want to look at E minor, and I want to look at F sharp minor, just for this video. So if you go down to E minor, you can, first of all, flip the page nope, it's right here. If you flip to 186 and you look at, it's a whole song basically, but where it says 11, you'll see E minor, and it has the key signature next to it. Hopefully you guys should know all of these, but if you need a refresher, that's on the next page. So if you go in and write, I'm going to do it right now with you, even though you can't really see the page, and just write in all those notes. So we've got E, F sharp right here, and then we've got G, A, B, C. Now, we've gotten to the 7th note, so we're going to have to raise that. So we're going to, instead of D, we're going to have D sharp, and then we're going to go to E and finish out the scale. So right now, not worrying about fingering, we're going to just find these notes on the piano. Let me tilt you guys down and see. Perfect. Okay, so very first note we're going to play is E, then we go up to F sharp, G, A, B, C, and then skip up to D sharp. So we've got minor third right here, just for a review of intervals. And after D sharp, we go back up to tonic, which is E. Not too complicated. If you kind of are like, yeah, I got that, then it's going to be the same fingering as E major, if you can remember what the fingering for E major is. We'll go back all over these next week, so don't worry about that too much if you can't quite remember, but in case you want to try it out, it's that same fingering. And so on the next page, it actually has it listed out, but it doesn't have the fingering in there. So if it helps for you to see it, then I'd suggest that, but if you're going to try the fingering, I wouldn't suggest that necessarily. So let's go back, let's do one more a little bit quicker, and then that should be the end of that. So let's go to F sharp minor. If we flip and we go on to the next page, actually 2 right under E minor, we see the key signature for F sharp minor has 3 sharps. We've got F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp as well. So we're going to come back over to here. Obviously, our first note's going to be F sharp, G sharp, and then A, B, and then C sharp, D, and then normally we would have E, but we are going to raise it up this time to F, or in this case E sharp, just to stick with the key signature and the right way to do it. And then we're back to F sharp. So that's basically it for writing it in, and then you find that on the piano. So I'll tilt you back down again to right here. F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, skip over to E sharp, and then F sharp. Okay, so I would encourage you guys to write in all of these notes, and then at least try to play them one time in the piano with one finger. I use 3 because 3 tends to be the stablest finger in my opinion. And also, I don't know how much you guys have talked about hand position and everything, but it's a good way to keep this arch intact, which is how you move around the piano pretty quickly. So I would try it with 3, just so you can also be like, hey, I also want to practice, playing with correct hand position as we're kind of getting back into this. So I would encourage you guys to do all of this page and write that in, because if you skip it this week, it won't matter for the test, but it is going to matter when we are going to have tests over all of these scales eventually. And I think that is it. So once you practice that, then you can go on to the next video.